I learned about natural cosmetics from my aunt, my mum, and my grandmother. They taught me how the plants worked, what each one was for, what they were called, how the oils and properties of all the plants were extracted, and then how they were used so that the skin could absorb them in the most appropriate way possible. There are some plants that cannot be mixed with others, and so then they would tell me, no, this is mixed in this way or in these proportions. When I was 8 years old, I started to make my first products such as rose water, rose perfume, some marigold extracts, natural soaps, among others. The advantage of these products is that since we were little, they start to work in our organism. When I was older, I stopped using these products and started using traditional chemical cosmetics. Later, I started to realize that this generated a kind of allergy in me. My dad is allergic to many things, so we can't use anything with allergens either. So we decided to look for other alternatives. That's when I remembered that I once learned how to make natural cosmetics, and we started this project.
Cosmética natural nuevamente.
We started in 2016 with the idea of the business, precisely because my dad got sick of the skin. We had to stop using chemical things and we started to make natural products. The first thing was to think about what we needed. Then we decided to make a soap, then a hand cream. Let's make a hand cream. This topic is quite interesting because plants give us a fairly broad background. We started to make many products. In September 2021, we had the final idea of the project and its official execution was made. At that time, we obtained our INVIMA certification and endorsed products. It was quite a long process because we have to comply with regulations. This entity has clear rules that we must follow, and we must have certain professionals who are dedicated to this type of things. After that, we adopted a clear philosophy of what we want, and we are committed to two things: benefiting people and helping the planet in the process. The idea is that what people apply to their bodies does not harm them, but we do not harm the planet either. So if we need a product from nature, that we use strictly what is necessary, that we don't throw away half of the stuff or 80% of the plant material, but that we use practically all of it and get the most benefits out of it. Then, in order to do this, we had to start doing a little more research on extraction processes and how to make them much more efficient. Our philosophy was still that we wanted to avoid harming the planet. But how do we avoid harming the planet? We use sustainable containers and packaging that are not made of plastics, that do not generate microplastics, that do not contaminate the products. For example, plastic contaminates the product inside. All our containers are made of glass. The packaging is made of cardboard and paper precisely so that when they reach the environment, they degrade easily. Preparation of moringa oil. We are going to make the dispensing of this oil that we will make with cold maceration. First, we make a tar of the equipment and the exact dispensing of what we are going to put. Now, that we already have the vegetable material, we are going to put the oil. This is a first cold pressed oil, extra virgin olive oil. We complete the proper weight. We use a proportion of 10% of vegetable material by weight. Here, we would already have our oil, ready to put in a water bath and leave it there long enough to extract all the properties of the plant. This process is done in this way to extract more properties from the plant and avoid using too much of it. This way we can take care of the planet, because this plant will give us the nutrients that the person needs to apply on your skin and will not be lost in the process. These oils must be put in water bath at a very controlled temperature. We are going to leave it here at 60 degrees for 2 hours. This temperature cannot fluctuate because otherwise the properties of the oil and the plant will be lost. It cannot go up or down to avoid fungus, bacteria, and others. If we change the temperature, the conditions of the plant and the conditions in which the extraction is done will not be adequate. So the product will lose properties when it is applied. Now we are going to remove it, because the 2 hours have passed. We place it in a fine mesh strainer. Here, all the properties are already in the oil, and these leaves are taken to composting so as not to leave any trace of oil in the environment. After this procedure, it is packaged and left ready for further manufacturing. Here we already have our oil, fully macerated. We bottle it and it is labelled as material in the same process with all the protocol required by INVIMA. We are going to measure it so that it gives us exactly what we need.
Estas balanzas obviamente tienen que estar calibradas. A cada año hay que hacerles un proceso de calibración y certificación de ese proceso.
These components have to be very well weighed, because if they are not, the product will not be standardized. We make it with a proportion of 80% of active component of moringa, 10% of active component of beeswax, and 5% of butter. We already have our moringa oil here, and we are going to weigh the beeswax. This is special because it is from the operculum, the walls of each hive, where it seals every bit of honey. This wax has all the antibacterial properties that the product needs. We already have our mixture ready to melt. We are going to verify that the temperature is between 70 and 80 degrees. At that moment, we already do the packaging. These products do not need a microbiology test, precisely because they are packaged at high temperatures. Although we always do it by protocol, each batch has a microbiology test. We pack 30 grams in each one of our little bottles. Ready, there are 27 grams. Ready, there are 27 grams. We always check the tar weight so that all the jars have the same weight. These must be covered when they are cold. Although we must be careful with environmental contamination, that is why here in the laboratory everything is closed. No dust enters, and there is a system that allows the air that is circulating to be in good conditions. There are no particles of dust, mold, or fungi. This cream works very well for all skin types: oily skin, combination skin, dry skin, among others. For dry skin, it helps a lot to avoid blemishes because most of them appear because the skin is very delicate and lacks a little bit of hydration or nutrition. So it is suggested to always use a sunscreen to provide nutrition to the skin and protect it from UV and UVA rays. For example, beeswax helps maintain skin hydration. For example, beeswax helps maintain skin hydration. There are many products that use beeswax substitutes, but they only seek to maintain hydration because they do not have the other components. On the other hand, our beeswax also helps the skin to be nourished and not have bacteria, so it does not leave pimples, and it is useful for people who have acne to regulate it. On the other hand, it does not leave a greasy sensation on the skin and does not leave so many wrinkles. It helps the skin to remain much more luminous, softer, and does not give it dryness after bathing. It also helps the skin to have a uniform tone. Moringa has more than 46 antioxidants. Moringa has more than 46 antioxidants. These prevent premature aging. They also help to bring out many and better cells. What this does is that if you have expression lines begin to fade and the skin looks much brighter, you do not see those little wrinkles so weird as cracked by dryness. Since most people get spots on their skin from too much sun, computer or cell phone use, what this does is help to bring out more and better cells so they won't stain so easily. Cacao butter is an excellent ingredient because it helps to produce a smoothness in the skin. It is mostly made up of components that must be greasy. For example, all the creams that we get in the market have fats. And precisely for that reason, because if the skin does not have fat, it will become malnourished. So what cocoa butter does is to fix that nutrition together with the components of the other ingredients so that they are fixed and maintained within the skin.